Hello and welcome to the Modern Romantic Podcast, where we celebrate and inspire romanticism through passionate people doing incredible things. Hi, I'm TV Smora Rose, auditioning for Romeo and Juliet. Two households, both alike in dignity, and fair Verona, where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands a disgruntled pelican. Hi, I'm Trey. And I'm joined by someone giving me the face as always, my delightful co-host, Emily. Hi, Emily.
Ew, David.
Why am I not
Ew.
I love so much. Canadian show, I'm just telling you.
Best show.
It's so good.
I know.
How are you doing, Emily?
I'm doing very well. We've gotten through 2 tornadoes so far this afternoon, and hoping for no more. And I don't know, it's a great week. I'm happy for it to finally be summer, and I don't know. That's about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, not about the 2 tornadoes, but yeah, it's good that it's been a good
Right.
week.
I feel like we're in Oz a little bit.
A little bit. It's only when you see lions and tigers and bears that you need to say, oh my, and that's when you need to be concerned.
Oh, thanks. So just bears is fine, but lions and tigers with bears is bad.
Correct. Thank you for that
Okay.
clarification. We'll add that to our show notes.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. I'll send that to Gregory.
Perfect.
He'll appreciate that too. I'm sure he has no idea.
What's funny is I've actually seen him do a number of podcasts recently, so it's been nice to kind of see him go through a few other interviews and just kind of get his take. It seems like the more that he does, the more that gets overturned as the story relates to Oz and the upcoming Wicked series, or the upcoming Wicked films, I should say. So it's been really nice. It's good to see him out and about, and just seem like he's enjoying stuff. So shout out.
Yeah. Shout out Gregory McGuire. We miss you. Come back and say hi.
Please. But speaking of authors, I'm really excited about our guest today. So
Yes.
would you please introduce our fantastic guest today?
Yes, David. Today we have with us an award-winning author from Montreal, Katie Anglehart, author of the Scottish Scrolls trilogy, here with us on the podcast tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm very sorry about your tornadoes.
Well, I didn't see them hit. It was like they were viewed that like people saw them, but they didn't like touch down. So
Oh, that would I've never encountered anything like that here, so I wouldn't even know what to do. I think you're supposed to hide in the bathtub, right, or something. Like that's the bathroom is like the.
it's wherever you have a solid structure, I think, so you don't get blown away. Yeah, or basement or cellar if you have one. I guess a bathtub seems pretty solid.
This is what I heard. I don't know. I don't know. My friend lived in Texas for a couple of years, and he was like freaking out, and like when there was a warning, and he was just like lying like a vampire in his bathtub. That's all I got the story.
Wow,
That is actually accurate because I used to live in Texas, so that is actually
Really?
accurate. Yeah.
Oh, there
I feel like they have special tornadoes in Texas.
you go.
They're different.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
I mean, everything's
They're
bigger in
bigger.
Texas.
Yeah.
And so the tornadoes, they cross the state line and it's just like boom. But there's so many homes in Texas that don't have a basement to them. So people have to like go into a place where there is a solid structure.
Right.
So the thing that people will put over top of them is a mattress. So they'll grab like an old mattress or something to kind of cushion anything falling on top of them.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So don't throw away your mattress. Just keep one around so you can put it over you in the bathtub. Yeah, because if your mattress is too big, you're not going to get it over yourself in the bathtub.
I just think about like trying to drag my Tempur-Pedic mattress, that like solid structure of the thing with me. That thing is like so heavy and
like it won't bend at all.
I feel like I would just get crushed by any kind of mattress. I'm like such a little like person. I would just like die under there. I don't know.
You feel like suffocate. Yeah, there are dangers more than just tornadoes.
Tornadoes. Your mattresses, everybody. This is a warning. You got it here.
Maybe shout out to the folks at Sealy or Serta. Do you make a mattress specifically to cover a bathtub that won't kill us in any way?
Coming
Provide
spring,
ventilation.
coming spring 2026, a new line of tornado only mattresses.
This is the most seamless ad insert you've ever had. I'm sure. It's just natural.
That's right. This one's for free, Serta.
Please,
The
please
sleep
send us
number.
Sorry. Send us your
What is your-
advertisement deal.
What is your tornado number?
Mine's a category 4.
What do people win with the highest number? Like, what should we get them?
Oh yeah. Oh goodness. That was great.
Fantastic. So, I'm so intrigued whenever we have authors on, because I am not a writer at all. My love is really of music, and that's the language that I like to speak with. So I'm so intrigued when authors come on and how you found your way to the written word. Can you talk about what that experience was like?
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably the same way you love music and you've always been attracted to music, I've always known that I want to. I was like attracted to stories, and I loved hearing them. Of course, like we all do as human beings. The oldest form of storytelling is just like us just chatting away around a fire, right? And so I was always intrigued by stories, and like creating them was something I knew I needed to do. I think it's because of how I responded to them. I just had this like thing inside of me that was like, well, I need to do that for other people too. I can make stuff up. I can make people laugh. Like from when I was a kid, like I'm like, this is something that needs to just like, that needs to manifest in its own way. And at first I thought it was like through acting. I thought, okay, I can do this through like, that's my form of storytelling. Cause I used to love the idea of like an ensemble cast or like people making like, physically making audiences laugh. I thought, okay, I could do that. And I quickly realized like that I am not an actor. And that was when like I entered this like storytelling contest in elementary. And I moved on to the next round, and I hated like performing it. But they voted me in to compete for like the whole, like to represent the school because of like the way, I guess, the writing itself. And that's when I knew I'm like, okay, I think I like the writing and I don't like the other parts. So I knew from like grade 4 that I would be writing in some way.
Wow. Okay.
That's pretty cool that spoke to you so early and you recognized it and and went with it. I think that's pretty amazing.
I was just like, I just couldn't get enough of it. I was a bit like, as we say in French, like dans la lune, like in class and stuff like that. I was always like imagining stuff. Dans la lune is like literally mean like in the moon, like whatever. So, and I would get called out for it. So I think I was like a bit too immersed in things sometimes. And it's like, that's how you know. And even when you're like getting older and you're still imagining stories and you still like, I think that's when you know, like you just have to follow this gut instinct. And for those of you listening who are like, I've always wanted to write a book, like you probably should listen to that and write down those ideas,
Yeah, I hear that. We hear that a lot.
You do.
We hear that a lot on the show and off the show.
Something you said about like if you find yourself as an adult with those same still telling stories, still having those things play out in your head, I find a lot of it, many adults kind of lose that sense of wanderlust.
Totally.
So, what has kept that wanderlust going for you? What are the things that help spur your imagination?
I just want to say something because it's just, this conversation is kind of funny. It's reminding me, I just read it again today, and this quote's actually on my website by C.S. Lewis. It's what is it? When you're old enough to start believing in fairy tales. Oh my God, what is the exact quote? I'm so sorry. You have to be old enough to start appreciating fairy tales, something like that. And it's to say like, keep that sense of wonder when you're older. And I guess to answer your question, like I read young stuff even when I was older, because there's like this innocence to the stories, and like there's like these self-discovery themes that I love so much. I learned so much from that when I was a young reader, and those are the kinds of themes like I'll impart in my books too. And I don't know if I answered your question. I just went on a tangent. I'm sorry.
No,
No,
please
don't
keep
apologize.
going. No.
Someday you will be old enough to start reading fairy tales again. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You just learn to appreciate that you have an inner child and you were a kid once, and that sense of wonder carries through as an adult, and it absolutely should. Even if you're writing books that aren't meant for younger audiences, you're still like very much more youthful than you think for believing you can inspire others with a story, with something completely made up, for just literally sitting down and imagining things. Like that's like a very inner child thing to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We do it from when we're tiny. Make up things constantly.
Yeah. I don't know if did you guys play with your friends or siblings, or did you like doing it by yourself? Because I loved like playing Barbies by myself. So I was like always thinking it up.
A little both.
A little both, yeah.
Yeah. Did you
Um,
play Barbies with your brother, Trey?
oh God. Lore drop about Trey. Um,
All right.
so
Timestamp this.
I loved Barbies as a kid. I had Barbies, I think, until I was about 6 or 7. But
Okay.
my brother was so like machismo when he was younger. He was so machismo and wrapped up in all things football and sports, and to have somebody that like expressed their feminine side with Barbies did not sit well.
Mm,
So I think that perspective has definitely changed as he's gotten older. But as a kid, I was in there with dress ups and all the things. So yeah,
love,
Barbies were so much fun as a kid.
love, yeah.
And that was like an accessible way to like costume with something. Like that's kind of how I saw it. I changed our clothes constantly.
Oh, that's the funnest part about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like it's not even easy to change a Barbie's clothes, but that you have to do it constantly.
Wardrobe changes were very important.
Mm-hmm.
Because made or broke the Barbie's day. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
I do gotta say, my favorite memory that I have of that is dressing one up in like a huge, like poofy princess dress and attaching the bungee cord to it and dropping it off like the stairs going down to my basement. So it was like parachuting, parajumping Barbie.
why were we so violent with them? There's all these things we put them through to just like see how they dealt with it.
Yeah.
I think that's part
Mm-hmm.
of that storytelling is like the what if with the scenario of like, well, what about this? And just taking that idea and going yes and as a kid.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Pushing some boundaries,
Pushing the
some
boundary.
envelopes. Yeah.
So all right, so I've said so 4 times.
It's okay, we tangented. It's fine. Recenter.
Center. You started writing as a kid, you entered the competition, found out that you were meant to be an author.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through how you came from such a young age to where you are now with your current series?
Yeah. So I kept chasing writing programs. So thankfully it was that eventually that led me to this book. So after my BA in journalism, and I also studied script writing because I was and I still am very interested in writing for television. It's a different route though. It's like a whole different ballgame kind of thing. I feel like I'll get there eventually, but right now it's like, when you just want a story to get out there. So I'm into the books right now. And in my master's of creative writing, I declared my thesis like the wise one, the first book of the Scottish Scrolls, because you get to choose your thesis project. That's mainly why I decided to do the master's. I was like, I need discipline, I need guidance. I feel like I'll procrastinate the hell out of this, like if I don't do this kind of formally. So that's what led me to publish the first book, and I'm so grateful because it's very mentally challenging. Like, if there's a better way to put it, like I have a lot of like self-doubt and like the imposter I mean, many writers do, like, you think you're the worst writer in the world for like the first 3 drafts. It's like terrible. So honestly, like because I was mentored, because I got the amazing feedback that I did get, because I learned from my classmates, I think the result is like I'm very, very happy with it because of the experience that I had. So if you're kind of like me and you're thinking, I have an idea, I'm so passionate about it, but I don't trust my own like self-discipline or like my own brain to like push through all the self-doubt, I would suggest something like structured, like a book coach to follow you, or some kind of writing program, or like a local class or something. And that's what led me to publish the first book. I had the confidence to do it.
Something to keep you accountable.
Absolutely.
I could see that.
You could
Yeah.
get an accountability buddy too, but they have to be dead serious, because like, let me tell you, it's very easy to be like, no, I'm not going to write today. I'm not going to write tomorrow. I'm going to put this aside. I'm not going to look at it again. Oh, I'm not feeling well, so I'm not going to send you those pages. But when you're being graded and when you paid for a program and it's like, okay, you really push yourself.
I gotta say, Emily, who's your accountability buddy, or who's the person who holds you accountable?
Well, Laura Packer and I have a weekly call.
Ooh, okay.
Weekly call.
Yeah.
How does that, like, does that work really well for you?
Yeah, well, we just sort of dedicated that at a certain time every Wednesday morning. We have a Zoom call, and that's it. I mean, we've skipped a few, but really not many. And even if we don't, we've decided to be kind to each other and ourselves. So even if we end up not talking anything too businessy or too projecty, we still like check in. Because we both like the flexibility to, take a break and things like that. So, and there's been a lot of things going on, so we don't always stick to it. But that's who it is for me. Do you have one, Trey? You keep yourself accountable?
I don't keep myself accountable, but I am the person like holding myself accountable. Um, it's it's a conversation with my therapist right now to find somebody, and ways
Okay.
to hold myself and find myself accountable.
Mm.
But also, like you said with Laura, like not to beat yourself up about it, to be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my YouTube channel back up and running, and that's the biggest goal at the moment. So it's trying to do that uh, without seeing a goal and being like, me, I'm not reaching my goal. Be kind to yourself. Each thing
Yeah.
you do is a step.
Well, and you've sent stuff to me, and I don't necessarily keep you accountable, but I'm usually like, go Trey. And I've been impressed by your ability to motivate yourself. Like you painted your whole house, and like,
Ooh.
and the YouTube thing has all been stuff you've been working on outside of this and other work. So I'm always impressed by how you make it happen anyway. I think that's great. Without some kind of accountability partner, that's pretty amazing.
Seriously, that's
Hey,
pretty amazing.
thank you. 6 months between releases. Woo!
Yeah.
Eh. Anyway,
It's
I'm not going to beat
still
myself
better
up about it.
than
No, that's
still
very good. So I took like 3 years between my book 1 and book 2 release. Now it's going to be 2 between my second and third book. I'm getting a little faster, but man, yeah, it could be long. It could be arduous.
It can be. Yeah, look at J.R.R. Martin.
I don't think he's finishing anything that series, is he? Like that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he comes out with another book of any kind, he would sell out and people would buy it up and it wouldn't matter. And of course, he's at that stage. So there's that. Like,
Yeah.
So about your series, I love the tagline that you have on your website that says "Travel to Ireland, Scotland, and beyond with witchy magic, history, and folklore." Can you talk to me about you're combining like the historical knowledge, folklore, and magic to kind of together, and how do you go about from a storytelling perspective blending those three things together?
It's a tall order, I know. It's a very ambitious thing that I wanted to do, but it's basically like a mishmash of the things I love the most kind of thing. And that's what made it easiest, really, because like don't do it if you don't really like it that much. One bit of advice. But when you're passionate about these things that can kind of also like interconnect, then you find ways it's like I can't even explain it more than like a spark of like inspiration that comes from researching. Like you find connectors when you research. It happens to me all the time. I find connectors in my later drafts sometimes because I research something more in depth and I go, well, that's the answer to that plot hole, you know? So finding out that like some of the landscape in Ireland is tied to like a folkloric like mythological creatures and like tied to a folklore, a local folklore. It's like it makes you think, okay, well, I can make a scene where this, you know, this fairy kind of lures her into this bush here and then transports her for a little second. And like, you know, like I use those locations that are supposedly famous for fairy sightings or whatever, like that. It just like kind of works out. And the first book is very much that. It's like me having gone to these places, heard from the locals, write down all the fascinating stories I love, incorporating like the magic, I guess, that feels the realist, I guess, because like that's what I love about urban fantasy. It kind of makes you feel like it's real and it's in your backyard and you can just like stumble into another realm. So I do love that aspect of urban fantasy. Yeah, and then like the history, the just like it inspires characters. So like I have several real accused witches as like secondary characters or kind of appearances in throughout my whole series. One of them a very kind of important figure. So that just like I just to me that's what makes the story so juicy or so good or so interesting, or like you that the fact that you're learning about things that happen in history, you're learning about how like the huge mistakes we made as human beings, like burning innocent women, you know. um yeah, for me the story forms when I look into the things that I love most, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
the this follows the passion, I guess.
Yeah. So it's an idea, and that idea uncovers some other things that you could use as further inspiration. So it's like,
Yes. Thank you for explaining that coherently. Yes.
oh, you
Like
explained it
I don't know
so
what I said.
It's interesting you say fantasy that feels like it could be real, because I've watched. It's funny, and it's kind of been kind of an ongoing joke in the last few years since an interview I did with it was Michelle Carriger from the one of the embroiderers for Game of Thrones, and she was talking about how the I'm sorry,
Are you okay?
something just happened with my computer, and we're good. Something disconnected and reconnected, and it made a sound, and I don't know if you could hear it, but I could.
Well, you're still here and normal.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna write this down so I can edit it out later. Okay. So, and it was like it's a fantasy show. So people will like write in and say things like, that was just super unbelievable. It's like, but it's a fantasy show. And I watch those, I watch shows sometimes, or I'll read a book or something, and I sit there and I'll say that to myself, like if it becomes a little too unbelievable, then it's like it doesn't feel like it could be real, even though the whole time I am consciously, because of Michelle, reminding myself like it is still fantasy.
I feel like that's about stepping. It's like stepping on the outer world. Like this is a rule for a very regular TV show as well. Like let's say, like I was just using an example of a TV show because, let's say Schitt's Creek. We were just like joking around
Yeah.
Schitt's Creek, and it's like this is the town. These are the characters. If a show starts with them, like what's something very not Schitt's Creaky? I don't know. Like they're
What isn't them? That's so
yeah.
funny.
yeah, I don't know, like something very like just not true to like the environment or the characters or something happening.
Right, like if they were sewing their own clothes or something like that.
Yeah, like oh, you know, Alexis isn't gonna do that or whatever. So then it becomes unbelievable. So I think like
They're farming.
they're farming. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
They're playing hockey. I want to see that show.
Now I want to see that. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I think I'm gonna do a rewatch very soon. I've been doing all the rewatches. Like I'm a bit in the nostalgic like streak. for my TV watching time. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, just to say,
That's wonderful.
yeah, it's I think like because magic can be as far-fetched as you want it to be, as long as it makes sense, quote unquote, in the sense that like it's staying within like the logic, the rules, the magic system, and you're not just like out of left field, whoa, because like this ghost like came out of nowhere and like saved everyone. And it's like, well, you never mentioned that they can intervene on the physical world, like I don't know, like, so just stay true to your own rules. I think that's, you can do whatever you want as long as you establish those rules.
Yeah, and that was something Michael Crichton was actually really good at with Jurassic Park and that one time travel movie that I can't think of, where he would take like chapter 2 of every book and then like beat the science into you to some degree so that it became so he could do and say anything he wanted the rest of the book and it would be believable.
There you go.
And it
That's
was amazing.
right there. Mm-hmm.
He'd
And
be like, guess what? Quantum mechanics. Now you know how quantum mechanics works. Now we're going to introduce time travel. It was amazing.
right?
Hmm.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, exactly. And that, and the fact that you don't make characters do something that they wouldn't do, and then I think you're safe.
Yes. Yeah, it has to be consistent within your own world. I was going to look up the name of that.
Oh, okay.
That
it's two now.
because now it's Timeline. That's the name of it.
Wait, no.
Timeline.
Did Timeline get adapted into something?
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
that?
Gerard Butler. Paul Walker was in that.
Oh God, I gotta watch that.
Oh,
Yeah. Francis O'Connor as
You
well.
know, they make fun of his accent in Scotland.
Say that again. Say that again.
They make fun of his accent. They're like, he's like an American Scot.
Gerard
like,
Butler.
yeah,
Like he's
like he
sold
lost
out.
his Scottish accent. Yeah.
So funny.
He's from Paisley. I just know because the tour guide pointed at
Sure.
the town we drove by, and they're like, "That's where Gerard Butler's from." I know his mother. I'm like, "Okay, that's awesome."
You're like, now I'm 2 steps away from Gerard Butler.
I know. Like, is he here? Can I please?
Right? Can I meet his mom?
Like,
Right.
I want to meet his mom. I want to have some tea.
That's so funny. So, yeah.
No, like all my questions are Gerard Butler centered. I'm so sorry.
I don't help the situation. I don't help interviewers very much. I'm like just pushing other topics onto you.
No, we love it.
Every time I look at him, I go, "This is Sparta," and then that's it. I can't.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You were saying that it's something that the character wouldn't do. Whenever we had Gregor Maguire on, the thing that he kind of leaned into was that concept of what is something that the character wouldn't do, and therein for him lies the like central conflict of the character. So, like if you have, say, for instance, Glinda, who had been this very passive character, suddenly decide to push somebody out of a window and take action and have agency in something, therein lies a little bit of intrigue. So I think it's to your point, it's having something that's realistic, but putting the characters in up to that moral line without crossing over the bounds of reality and going, how would you deal with this situation?
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah, and you need to test your characters. And the thing about, especially beginner writers, because this was my struggle throughout the first book, was giving the character agency and like just making sure, yeah, she's not too passive and things aren't happening to her as much as she's making them happen, and that she's being challenged enough. Because you kind of tend to be a little nice to them at first, like you want to see them like have a great life. Especially new writers, but like I got a lot tougher as I went on. But it's a difficult thing to get into and to learn how to do. So it's a really good tip.
I'm curious because you also speak how many languages?
Well, I'm not any more special than many Montrealers, by the way. It's just something you learn when you learn French. So that's like like most people are bilingual in where I come from. And then I'm Italian. Like my family's Italian. My dad was born in Sicily. So I just grew up speaking like to all my grandparents, and then my little cousins when they grew up. Like I just grew up speaking Italian, so know the three languages. But Spanish is something I studied in school. I don't know it fluently. I love it so much, though. I really love Spanish that I practice as much as I possibly can. But there's like no one to practice with, so I call it Spanglish because like there's no way I'm fluent, but I can get by.
Well, with you having that language background, I'm curious, does any of the languages you speak find their way into your novels, or do you kind of keep that at an arm's distance for the sake of the story?
Honestly, not yet. Not these languages. I think they will in the future, or in the future work, like books, like away from this story. This story is very much Scottish, Irish, Gaelic. Uh, but I love etymology. So like I guess knowing, recognizing some roots of words and like just like naturally, like if there's like a Latin phrase that I hear, it's like I can kind of understand like what that means, bigger picture, because it sounds a little bit French or a little bit Italian. Or like if you go to Barcelona and it's Catalan, which is so specific, it's like such an odd, amazing, like fascinating mix. Like I want to learn it so badly, of like Italian, French, and Spanish, and I'm like, what is this? This is amazing. So I just like I love languages. So there's like I did look into Gaelic a little bit when I was writing, and I did get someone who was like an expert to look over the passages that I did write. But other than that, like, no, my languages have not snuck into these particular books, but they will. I'm sure they will.
You speak, I heard that you speak bunny too.
Yeah, where are they? Oh, they're like chilling right now. Let me see if I can. Where's one?
You have
There's
two
one.
bunnies?
There's one. Oh, this one. He looks very well rested right now.
Oh, yeah. He's
flopped.
got the nap game down.
Yeah. So that's Onyx and Sterling, and I grew up with another bunny. His name's Magic. I named my little publishing, my little imprint after Magic. It's called the Magic Dwarf Press. So I had this white dwarf bunny for 11 and a half years.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So it's a big commitment. I just like to say that I have. I just like to say I'm an advocate for them because they're so misunderstood, and people like buy them for their kids, and then they're like dumped after Easter because people realize they're so much work and kind of terrible for kids to have. Like they're not like caged little fuzzy things that live 2 years. They can live very long. They need space. They need care, specific food, specific types of hay, like all the things.
Mm-hmm.
And they're particular. They have a huge attitude. They're like cats. Like you gotta like understand their temperament a little bit.
I'm okay. Sorry, the attitude thing. Can you elaborate on that?
Huge attitude problems, these bunnies. So like they don't always want to cuddle. They don't always want to be picked up. Like you have to like see how they're feeling. Like you can get them used to being picked up, absolutely. But a lot of them just kind of like their feet on the ground, on the floor. They like to be secure. They like to feel secure. So even if you do pick them up, there's a way to do that. And if they don't like someone, they'll let you know it. So my bunny of 11 and a half years, Magic, absolutely hated like men mostly, like, and I think he kind of imprinted on me. I don't know, like I was his, like he was protecting me or whatever, but he would snap at people. Like he was he was a tyrant. But he loved me. Like I just like was able to do whatever with him. He was great with me and my mom. He loved my mom.
I feel the same way about many animals. And it's like for me, it was parakeets. You know, they're an inexpensive little bird that people will buy their kids, and then they're not kept up with, and they're not,
Oh,
you know, they spend their lives in like a tiny cage, and it felt so wrong because I grew up with parakeets that live 10 years, and they can if you're doing it right. And
exactly.
I feel like they get put in not great homes. Like they should probably have a screening process for every single little animal that
I
can
believe.
be purchased, like just over the counter like that. Yeah.
And they often need specific, like specialized vets, like they're exotic vets. Like these guys too, you can't bring them to a regular cat dog vet, you know. Look where he's trying to escape. Where are you going? I usually leave that door wide open, and they don't even go near it. They're like, I'm not crossing that threshold. No.
Turns out like, oh, you got both of them.
I was like, oh, guys. Oh, my dog might go. Like she's like looking at them from the couch, and she's like, "Oh yeah,
Like,
here."
hey, we want to be on a podcast too.
Like she's going to bother them right now.
Oh.
Aw.
The
Okay,
bunnies
guys.
almost look like they could take the dog.
They're all like pretty much the same size.
That's funny.
There's a YouTuber that I watch that has pet chickens, but also a pet parakeet. Makara Tours makes just like sewing things and more comedic based sewing tutorials. Oddly enough, to bring this full circle, she does a lot of Barbie themed things where she will she's done a couple like Barbie episodes, and every year she'll do the holiday Barbie of that year and recreate the dress in real life.
Oh,
No
wow.
way, that's amazing.
That is cool.
But anyway,
Well-
she's got a cute little white parakeet that will show up in quite a few of her videos.
I love that. Birds are very intelligent, I think. Like, yeah, I don't know, the whole bird brain thing. Sorry, I have like a mosquito in this room. The whole bird brain saying doesn't make any sense to me. I think they're very, very smart.
They are. Yes, agreed. And they all have their own personalities and quirks and likes and dislikes. You know, I feel like animals don't get seen as individual like personalities as much as they should. But
No, 100%. Like that and things like anything nature related. Like honestly, like one of the main messages of my story, like I'm passionate about these things. I like talking about these things because we're I would say like with everything that's going on in the world, sometimes we forget like our connection to nature. Like we're so ahead in tech all the time. So like this is one of the main messages I like to relay. Like we are nature. Like we come from it, we've evolved from it. These things are living beings. Like we need to remember to continue caring for it and not just like take advantage of what we the resources that we have. And it is limited and we tend to forget. But yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I've been, well, I should say Josh and I have been attracting crows lately.
Oh,
And we finally
Really?
got them to come up closer to the house.
What?
Yeah, it started with chipmunks. And now there are 3 that will come and
so I learned they remember people's faces. Did you know that?
I wasn't sure if they would are we talking chipmunks or crows?
Crows.
Yes, I believe that. Yes. They'll sit in the tree across the yard and they watch. There's one that we call like the sentinel. And we'll throw peanuts out there. And there's like a tray feeder that's a square hanging on a shepherd's hook. So we try to keep the squirrels away, but whatever. Anyway, so we throw peanuts on it, and the crows at first wouldn't come and land on the tray because it swings. It's like, it's not a stable tray. It just hangs. But now they will. They figured out how to do that. And today, in fact, I saw the sentinel crow. I walked out there. I threw peanuts out and put some on the tray. And before I got all the way back to the house, he was already there. And I was like, yes, that's the closest we've ever gotten. It's so great. But yeah, I believe they know to watch for certain people, at least. I didn't know about the faces thing specifically.
Apparently, I don't know. My husband told me like the other day. It's very weird because we have a lot of crows around here, and he's like, I want to befriend the crows. I'm like, what do you mean you want to befriend the crows?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I want them, like they recognize people. I'm like, you're kidding, And he's like, yeah, we're gonna. I want to start like becoming friends with them. I'm like, okay, we can do that. I don't know.
Yes, you can.
Give it a shot.
Peanuts make it very easy.
This is why we moved to the country.
Mm-hmm. You can do it too. You'll have such a great book to write then.
That's it. Hey, the next it's going to be a standalone. It'll be much quirkier and lighter. So maybe it'll take place in this small town. Who knows?
Yes.
Gosh.
I love that you are having a bigger focus on nature and taking the story away from tech and putting it in an environment where there's more foliage, more plants, and more interacting with nature. being that you also have quite a bit of mysticism mixed in with your stories, I'm kind of curious, what's one spell or one maybe creature that you feature in your books that you would love to see in real life, and why?
Yeah. Oh, such a good big question. Um, So one of the ways she channels magic, at least in the second one, is through elementals. So these are spiritual nature beings that they embody each of the elements. So I think it would be pretty awesome to meet a sylph. So they're like air elementals, very powerful and very strong presence because air is all around us. So they tend to be the most like imposing, I guess. So that would be very very cool. Because I don't know what they would look like. I mean, I kind of describe them the way I would think, like a wispy sort of, draped in white and like that kind of thing. But yeah, that would be pretty cool. I won't say fairy because like it's such a trend these days, and like that's not what I but I just want you to know, for those who are intrigued by fairies but don't want to read erotica, that's not what happens in my book. They're actually they're like the fairies that are represented in like new age mysticism, like the nature beings and the ones that tend to the plane that's like adjacent to ours. And like, anyway, whatever, I will drop it. But I'm just saying, like, if you see fairy and you're like turned off, it's like, it doesn't go there. We don't do the the erotic thing in this book.
I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you.
Trend.
When
Yeah.
I think fairy, I think of two kinds. I think of like Thumbelina kind of fairy, and then I think like the kind of fairy you're not supposed to tell your name to.
Okay. These are more like the earth angel, like if you read
Okay.
like new age works and stuff like that, the ones that like are like living in our backyard kind of thing,
Okay.
Yeah.
Emily, can I clarify that statement you just made? Because I've always heard that that applied to just fae in general. It wasn't specific to like fairies, but I am more than willing to be wrong. Is it that you shouldn't give your name to them, or is it you shouldn't answer any, like, give them anything that they ask for? You always kind of respond a question with a question.
Like, why do you want to know?
Yeah.
It's about like I've heard that they can take your name, like that's it, then you don't have your name anymore or something like that. But I've also heard that it's kind of like they can have some kind of power over you.
Okay.
I don't know for sure.
Folklore makes them out to be very mean a lot of the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like very like yeah, you give what they'll take more than they need to take, or I don't know, they'll kind of trick you into giving them stuff, or they'll take you down to their realm and trap you there, like a little bit more of that kind of vibe in folklore. Like, don't insult them, they will not like that.
Yeah, Josh in the chat said names have power.
Yeah.
And they live by their own rules, not ours.
Very true.
I asked KT that question, but I'm curious, Emily, what's one creature or like supernatural being that you would love to see be real if it doesn't already exist?
Oh gosh. I guess I always thought that horses should have wings.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like that's not like just because I think unicorns are cool, but I've always just been drawn to the Pegasus specifically. So I would say that one. Nessie, yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah, that one.
That's my
Pegasus.
dog's name, by the way.
Nessie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like she hears you and is coming. No, I'm just kidding.
She was totally asleep. She's not even
Like I
listening.
heard my name.
Usually she'll do the little like, oh, what? You're talking about me? Like the head the pop.
Am I needed? Is it treat time?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Katie, you've also given a lot of I think, recommendations to us and a lot of really solid advice. But I'm curious, for those who are looking to get into writing specifically, what's one piece of advice that you wish someone would have imparted on you
Mm,
earlier in life that you want to give to them now?
such a good question, such an important question. I think some people make it look very easy. So, especially with social media these days. So, I just want you to know there's no one way of doing it. Don't worry if you're not a detailed outliner or if your first draft sounds like you're telling yourself the story, because that's what someone told me only later on. The first draft is telling yourself the story. Don't worry about how it sounds. Try to like keep working it out as your drafts go on. That's the best thing I can tell you is like it's okay if it's like very sparse. It's okay if it's like 20,000 words. Your second draft will extend, your third draft will extend beyond that. And so, my main bit of advice is to trust the process and to trust that you'll put it together because you will. So it's more than okay if, and I'm gonna say even the first three drafts don't sound like a book yet, because we all do it very differently. I'm an underwriter, so my books only sound like books as of draft three, and I wish someone had told me that that's like okay, because like everything we read out there is like, oh my god, like I just wrote a book in 3 months and it's like 100,000 words and like stuff like that, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm doing something wrong. Like, oh, I'm not good enough at this. Like, I'm too slow. I'm not imaginative enough. I'm like, like you start to really get into your head. So if you do that, just remember there is no one way, and you will get there at your own pace.
But
I love that.
I feel like you just had that ready at the hip, just like ready to go.
So good.
Oh
That
Yeah.
my
is so
gosh.
good.
Thank you. I really mean it. Like it kind of, it really gets to you. It's very hard to finish a book. It's like, we don't talk about it enough. It's not like normal to write a book in a few months. Like if you're doing that, you're incredibly skilled. You're very practiced, like good for you. But we can't all do that. And it's totally
Right.
fine.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with whatever process you need to take to get there. I loved what you said, that the first draft is just you telling yourself the story. I think that's a brilliant way to approach it.
Someone did tell me that. I didn't come up with that on my own. I don't remember who told me, but thank you for telling me, whoever it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, that's great. And also, there's a lot of people out there that have written award-winning work that we don't know how many times they rewrote it. We don't know how many times it got butchered by an editor or,
Yeah,
destroyed by a critic. Like, those are things that we don't see behind the scenes. Like, it's like any other art form. You don't see the 10 years of
you
blood,
don't.
sweat, and tears that went into the thing that was the finished product. So you
Exactly.
can't beat yourself up over a draft.
Exactly. And don't compare yourself, whatever you do, to Stephen King, because he's just a whole other level of genius.
He's
Maybe
like writing in his actual dreams.
he just like writes things, and he follows his characters. His methods are amazing. Like he just kind of follows his nose and then comes out with these amazing stories. And you're like, okay, Stephen.
Yeah, he has a gift that's unique, and that's
Yeah.
not like most of us.
I'm gonna say though that he clearly follows some sort of intuition that is like very. He trusts. If anyone trusts his intuition, it's him. Like, and I hope you do too. Like, you just keep trusting whatever story it is that wants to come out of you. That's like advice number two.
I like that. Where can our listeners and viewers find you online to support you and follow you?
Follow me on Instagram, KT_Anglehart. That's HART. And Substack as well. You can find me, and you can find me on Facebook because I'm a millennial and I'm still on there. And yeah, you can get my books anywhere you get your books online. So that's like your bookstore, Barnes and Nobles, Amazon. If you're in Canada, Indigo. So yeah.
You can order them through Pearl's Books in Arkansas.
If you request it, they can get it. Yes, I don't know
Yes.
how many of them actually have it, but yeah.
Right. That's what I was thinking. It's a independent bookstore we had on the show. So I
Oh,
was just giving them
cool!
the shout out.
Woohoo! Shout out to the independent bookstores. Go shop
Yeah.
there.
Well, Katie, I think my final question for you, and get ready for this. This is a big one.
Oh no.
She's in the
um,
hot seat.
has nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far, but we love to ask this question of all of our guests. You were sitting down to have lunch with anybody in the world, alive or dead.
Oh
Who is sitting on the opposite side of that table from you?
no. Oh God. Doesn't this have to be like an intellectual response? Like I probably have someone very
No.
dumb in mind. Hold on, let me
No.
think. Oh man, alive or dead? Alive or dead?
There's no wrong answer.
There's no.
There's no wrong answer. Oh my God, this is too difficult. C.S. Lewis, because we
Good one.
mentioned him, and you know what? He like created the for me like the first really immersive fantasy story that I was into.
Mhm.
And I just want to know how he came up with that. And like also I know that he questioned his faith a lot. Like he went through a whole philosophical and like existential search. And like I think he would be like an absolutely fascinating person to speak to. Um, yeah, and I get existential all the time. Like I question like so much. So it would be I think he would provide a lot of insight.
I agree with that one for sure. Yes. What a great answer. Do you know what the S stands for?
I don't know.
Or
Super.
his C and S stand for Clive Staples.
I did not know that.
Yeah. He was also known as Jack. But Clive Staples
No,
Lewis.
Clive. No wonder. Oh my God, who would pick up a book from Clive Staples?
You just if you have lunch with him, you can just be like, "Hey, Clive."
I'll call him Jack.
Yeah,
That's cooler.
so much easier.
It's okay. I love a pen name. Like I use my husband's last name because mine's a long Italian name that not many people can pronounce. It's just like his is much cooler. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. No shame in that. That and then when you make it like really, really big, you're harder to find.
Oh,
Yeah. People can't stalk you.
exactly. Like what we think.
Katie, I also want to ask, because you mentioned to us earlier, you're going to be at the South Dakota Book Fair, correct?
Yeah, South Dakota Festival of Books. If you're in the area or if you're a neighbor of South Dakota, come on over. It'll be fun. It'll be my first time there, and I'm very excited to meet other authors and to meet readers. And we're going to talk about writing craft and inspire you to get to work and all kinds of other great stuff. And there's going to be other amazing authors that you can support. They'll have tables. And you can get some signed copies. It'll be a really, really fun weekend.
Really cool.
That's in September, by the way. September, I believe, 27.
Okay.
It's in, where in South Dakota is it? Someone asked. It's in Spearfish. Does that make sense? I do not know my area as well. I believe.
Spearfish.
Yeah.
I do not know South Dakota all that well, so we will find out together.
What an amazing name for a city in South Dakota. I'm looking it up right now.
But yeah, if you look up South Dakota Festival of Books 2025, it'll have all the info.
Okay, it's northwest of Sturgis.
Was
Which
Spearfish
is
correct though? Yeah.
It's near Sturgis, near Wyoming. It's closer to Wyoming than Minnesota. For anyone who has the visual of states in their head.
It's a blur. The middle states for me is such a blur. Like we played that, like in Friends when they do the states game where they try to name all 50 and like there's always like 3 or 4 like you're missing. And as Canadians, we wanted to like give it a shot. We're like, I wonder how many we can do. And we did pretty good. I got like 38. And then like the other missing ones, I'm like, oh, how could I have forgotten that? Of course. Like, but it's a fun one. I just want to test my knowledge, but it's not great. But I mean,
yeah,
the map's confusing, but
the map is confusing for us.
We have a lot of states.
It's a lot.
So many.
And South Dakota is like 50% national park. So that takes up a whole bunch of it too. And there are towns like this town, Spearfish, is like in, what is it? Which national park? Medicine Rocks State Park, rather, not a national park. But either way.
I'm sure it's beautiful. A lot of nature, right? It's not far
Yeah.
from right, like Montana's somewhere I've always wanted to go.
Mm.
Must be gorgeous. Maybe I'll
Well,
extend my trip.
if you're gonna fly to Spearfish so that you can go to this, go meet Katie in September, the airport code is SPF.
There you go.
Seriously?
Just a random factoid there. You're welcome.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh. Well, Katie, I have got to say, chatting with you for the last hour has been great. Thank you for joining us on the tangent of tornadoes all the way up through delving into the world of mysticism. I'm really excited to pick up a copy of your books at my local Barnes & Noble. So thank you so much for sharing your artistry with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. You guys are amazing conversationalists.
Thank you. This was so much fun.
Yeah. As we close this episode out, this episode, along with more, can be found. Oh my gosh, can be found wherever you get your podcast. My brain just escaped me for a second.
It's
I'm
late.
so sorry.
The fairies in Scotland have them.
The fairies in Scotland, they heard me. So you can find other behind-the-scenes conversation on our Patreon. Search for The Mod Rom on Patreon, or you can visit our website, themodrom.com, for other past episodes and additional content. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Have a great day. Bye.